Hello and welcome to my channel. I am San D1 and today I'll be showing you some characters from Dragon Ball who are technically considered villains. And I'm gonna be ranking the villains based on my choices. And I am actually a bit interested and I'm gonna just rank the villains based on how good they are. Now, well, also I'm using Pinterest, so the visuals I display, credit goes to them. I don't have to mention that because there are many people who post the visuals on Pinterest. And definitely I'm using the visuals or at least giving you the image and describing. First comes none other than Pilaf and Cat Team. Team Pilaf, you can say. Alright, now they were the first ever villains from Dragon Ball in the first 13 episodes, as I remember. And you know, they were technically the comedian types rather than the villain types. They gave more comedian vibes compared to villains. Basically, they were just wanting to steal the Dragon Balls or becoming young, I guess, or becoming their ruler. Also, they technically reduced their age just to become young, and also they're not that strong. Obviously, they aren't able to catch up with Goku later on. Previously, it was a different scenario. They aren't even able to battle that well, by the way. So, compared to other enemies, they're quite, what can I say, inferior. Plus, comedian types, as I said. They actually set up a trap, and that fails. Well, in the first part, definitely they weren't that weak. They looked challenging, especially the Sus part. He used the dog army to literally surround Goku, Yamcha, Bulma, and I think that pig. What was its name? I guess it was Oolong. I guess, yeah, Oolong and Wade. They were literally like chased by the dog army, and that was a bit dangerous. That was dangerous part, and also the trap part. I have to give credit to the traps that he set. That was good, and yeah, all of that sort of has the villain appeal. But yeah, that was only for the first part. Later on, though, they are also in the first part they're great comedians from the start. So technically, my feeling is there are far better villains than them. But yeah, they did their part in the first part at least. Also, um, I'm not especially that glad about them as villains. There are better ones, which you can see right there, and most of them are allies of Goku, by the way. So anyways, that was the interesting part mainly. Alright, now we're moving on to the next one. But before that, I have got to give credit to the one. Whoever, whatever is the name, just know it. Give credit to him. Thanks for posting it. And so, I guess whoever it is Japanese. So, I've got to say, arigato gozaimasu. That's all I can say at least. Okay. The next one is right here, Silver. Now, why I skipped here because after that we had the Tenkaichi Budokai, which is the martial arts tournament in translating. It's the Japanese version, Tenkaichi Budokai, and I have pretty much memorized it by now. So in that tournament, there were definitely no villains, at least the first one. So for that reason, I'm directly skipping to the Red Ribbon Army part. So as you can see, this guy was basically introduced in the filler. If you haven't watched the filler part, by the way, filler part, he's on there. And yes, he was definitely challenging and obviously better than Pilaf at least. So he was a much better villain comparatively. Though he didn't stand out much due to the fact there were stronger ones compared to him. Though he did give Goku some challenge on collecting the Dragon Balls. Definitely, it was challenging for Goku at least. But yes, obviously the fight scene was pretty. I mean, the way the fight went, it was quite easy comparatively. So well, anyways, you can obviously look at right here, I guess. Anyways, I've gotta give credit also. I'm gonna think you are free to post your own opinions. Okay, Sir Sam, thanks a lot for posting this image. I'd share it with everyone for the sake of visuals, not for promotion, I guess. Okay, the next one I guess is right here. It's white. Thanks a lot, by the way. Okay, Sarkson again. Thanks a lot yet again for providing Red Ribbon Army's white. Anyways, you are also allowed to share your opinions. Your opinions may differ. Feel free to comment about it. I want to know your opinions too. Your opinions matters a lot. And I'm covering every villains, from the ones you may even forget. Bradley. So well, for General White, I pretty much remember that part. It was a pretty long run, pretty much a raid in that part. And yes, we also have the ninja named Ninja Murasame, who also was a big challenge for Goku. And let me just say, he was far better than it was a far more intense part compared to Silver. It was just level 2, you can say. And I felt like he was obviously the actual villain guy. Actual villain type, you can say. More than Silver even. For White, there was one thing like the brutality part. The way he captured them, the one of the town people, I cannot. There was a snow place, I guess, and he actually captured everyone, or technically doing the dictatorship rule. His rule was intense, and well, that part and the trapping, the Weaver, and also the android part. I think it was android Hachigo. Okay, it was 8. So that all made it pretty intense, and also he used dirty tactics during battle. And he got good by Android 8. Android 8 actually showed him what it really means to use dirty tactics. His respect flew with dust. He was obviously like the real villain type guy. One of the best villains. But yes, definitely he won't be able to stand against Goku right now. He would be far up class. And let me just say, there are far stronger people than him right now. And obviously it was Goku when he was a kid. So well, he definitely was a challenge for that reason. Alright, we're moving on to the next one now. And that's none other than General Blue. Though his yellow color, I mean his hair color is yellow, I don't know why he's even called blue. But anyways, most obviously he was a pretty hateable guy, for sure. I didn't like him for many reasons. And he was obviously the guy who should be the villain type. He will make you hate him. The way he does stuff, he even kills his own men. And well, that treasure part also, altogether, he survives and even goes back, and almost all the way. And also, he ends up, or technically is, beaten in the filler arc, which features another anime called Arale, which was a weird ending technically for me. It felt a bit weird, let's say. Ending it with another anime in a filler, yeah, it was a weird one. But definitely the entire pirate part, that was pretty interesting. He was the main villain there. And even after all that stuff, he managed to survive, which was the weird part, making him more tough. And he was a pretty tough guy compared to White. Definitely one of the strongest among the Red Cross Army. Now, we're coming on to the next one, which should be, by the way, I wanna mention What is City. Thanks a lot, What is City, for posting this. I have to thank them all individually. It's another task. Okay, another thing that I want to say, Blue was killed by someone after that. I mean, after he made it back to the headquarters of Red Ribbon for filling the task, by whom he was killed, that was the part. Who is actually the next on the list? He was definitely more powerful compared to Blue. Let's see who it is. Alright, here it is. By the way, post. Thanks a lot for posting this. If you're seeing it, congratulations. Alright then. Tao Pai Pai. He was the assassin. And well, right now he definitely doesn't stand a chance against Goku, at least in Super Saiyajin form, or even normal Goku. Grown up battle. Even without Super Saiyajin form, he won't be able to beat Goku right now. But yeah, that time he definitely was pretty intense. He definitely proved himself to be a far better villain compared to everyone. Due to the fact we had the first ever kill by him. Yeah, he actually killed someone, which was from the coming. What was the town called? I don't know, but he actually killed a guy who is an important character too, I guess. Not too important, but he is definitely a bit of an important character. I forgot his name though. So yeah, there was a kid called, I guess, Oob. Sorry, not Oob. Let me just. Yeah, I guess I remember now. It probably was Bora, the father of Upa. I guess you know Upa. So he basically killed Bora. And obviously the fact is Dragon Ball had got that plot twist of bringing the dead back to life. So yeah, Dragon Ball Base and he just came back to life as always. But the scene itself was pretty unsettling. Also the fact that he killed Blue. So he obviously had a lot of victims, making him a pretty challenging villain that time. And also the way he first beat Goku or Vegeta 2, he really had to go to Korin Tower for the first time, and it was one of the hardest challenges for him, and it was all thanks to him. So basically he got one of the biggest challenge of his life thanks to Tao Pai Pai. So he definitely deserves the chance for a better villain, because he indeed was a better villain compared to all those guys. And yes, he even reappeared later in another Tenkaichi Budokai, and also in some filler episodes in Dragon Ball Z. Though right now he won't stand a chance against Goku, but that time he really was there, pretty much pretty powerful villain that time. So well, now we're next up, moving on to the next one, and that is Red. Okay, for Red, there is only one thing to say. He definitely wanted Dragon Ball for a stupid wish, wanting to grow tall, which makes his ambitions look pretty weak, or just a stupid ambition. Just wanted to get tall. That's why he ordered, and that's why Black snapped against him, making him the final villain, I guess. So technically, I think Tao Pai Pai was the one who stood out the most, though the raid was intense. Goku one-handedly took down every one of them. So I don't have to talk much about them because yeah, Goku really did all the part all by himself. And the others didn't really stand out much. And well, Black did stand out much, so I'll just. Alright, obviously I forgot to credit Sirksan again. Okay, thanks a lot again. Next up, here we have the next one, Black. He technically became the main villain somehow. Weird part, right? But yeah, even though he was like a bodyguard, he became the final villain for some weird reason. Yeah, due to the stupidity part. And though he was better than Red, comparatively, yeah, the way he fell. But yes, Tao Pai Pai still would stand over them, because Tao Pai Pai was definitely a much better villain compared to them. Goku one-handedly destroyed everything in Red Army, Red Dragon Army. So anyways, we're moving on to the next one now. Oh, and before that, oh, no points yet. Okay, good. Alright, we're directly skipping to Tian Han for a reason. After that we had the sister of Muten Rossi, who obviously just tested Goku by skills. Obviously they weren't really villains, but rather it was almost like Marathon wanted to pay their bells. So I'm directly jumping to Tian Han because well, he definitely was a big villain, a much better villain and very strong villain. And obviously he was the one who won the tournament, but yes, definitely after that the realism sunk in though. So Anyways, then, okay, so you have to describe it. He was obviously once shown in the filler part, and yes, definitely he was ruthless, like part, tracking a village of the Inosikacho, though also almost wanting to kill that after seeming like getting caught. Also, they were the ones who just were um, earning money by that trickery. Obviously, it was filler, so I'm not really considering it as canon. But yeah, that itself made his character look pretty much not the good guy type, definitely. And also in the tournament, the way his brutality was shown was intense. He wanted to become like Tao Pai Pai, which made him Tao Pai Pai level 2. So you can obviously look at the intensity there. And definitely he's far powerful compared to Tai Pai Pai. Due to the fact that in the next Tenkaichi Budokai, he actually beat Tao Pai Pai, who somehow participated in the tournament. Though the even more villainous guy was, or even more the worst guy though would be Master Sen, who trained him like that. Obviously, was the rival of Muten Rossi. And if you look at his intentions, he's would be a more of a villainous type, Master Sen himself. And his brother was Tao Pai Pai. And also, he was a pretty powerful guy, even as an old man, just like Muten Rossi. And yes, he also wanted to assassinate Goku before the battle, which makes him even more villainous compared to Tao Pai Pai. But though Tao Pai Pai wanted a fair battle, which makes him the likable type, at least. Because yeah, he did wanted to beat him in a fair battle, though the brutality is intense. He almost killed Yamcha by almost breaking the leg. Just if you look at the brutality, you get the feel of how he really was. If you hadn't watched him in Dragon Ball, you definitely don't know anything about Genji Han. If you're only watching Dragon Ball Z, definitely watch Dragon Ball. You'll be interested to see how it really was previously. And Chaozu. He and Chaozu had them the villain types right there. Though they later on sided with Goku after everything happening. But yes, he also won the tournament, by the way. But he got the realization at the middle of the tournament, by the way. The win was anyways win on both sides. He definitely knew that he had to fight. Not for something like protection, I guess. So he sort of changed it from the time. Obviously, something happened, and all. I don't really remember what really happened that time. But what I'm gonna say is, for some reason, he did change his mind, and rather than wanting more power as assassin, he decided to stand for the protection. And yes, he definitely did win the tournament, though he deserved it after changing his mind, I guess. Yeah. But definitely, he would be ranked higher than Tao Pai Pai if he were a consistent villain to pursue. Obviously, though, he still doesn't stand a chance against Goku, at least in the Super Saiyajin form. And he can still, by the way, I think, even in Super Saiyajin form, he would probably be the strongest human. And he can also give him a fair fight, even in Super Saiyajin form, if he wants, if he gives his best at least. Especially the attacks. It's too powerful. I also forgot the attack's name, but it just hits very hard. So well, the next one. Let's get to the next one without wasting time. And this will be the final one. And guess what? I actually got the image right here. Thanks a lot, JMB. By the way, the previous image, I guess you already seen the name, so definitely you know who it was. I guess Genji Han indeed posted it. Okay, anyways. Okay, this one is Piccolo, you already know, and I actually got the actual image, the creepy image actually. Okay, having a grind, that fits him for a villain. He definitely did join Goku's side, but that was in Dragon Ball Z. If I actually have to talk about the final villain of Dragon Ball, it was Piccolo, definitely. Piccolo Daimao started it all. At the first, it started with his kid or his offspring, some weirdly. I mean, yeah, I would say the top class villain is Piccolo, definitely. But there is a catch. Piccolo Daimao was first. Piccolo Daimao was the original one, or technically Piccolo himself is Piccolo Daimao for some weird reason. I don't know, but yeah, being the demons, they possessed more powers compared to humans, which was the top level or technically the final boss type. So if I actually would talk about the final boss, Dragon Ball is pretty well leveled that way. Pilaf being the beginner, then we jump on to the Red Ribbon Army, which actually gives you the Mafia. From a normal comedians to Mafia, and from Mafia the level rises to Assassin. Yeah, Assassin also includes Mafia. So from the Assassins, they move on to Tianxian, who is technically like the strongest human. So you literally went on to beat the strongest human right there. And for the strongest human, now you're not even battling human, you're battling a demon. That's what the interesting part. The final villain as a demon, I like the idea pretty well. And definitely they weren't connected to each other, but the flow really was like that, yes. The leveling was pretty much good, even though it was classic. So well, Piccolo Daimao, I have only one thing to say. He is obviously the Demon King. And the people he killed, obviously all of the ones, and there were many killings. It was the most brutal arc ever. And if you're a kid, definitely don't watch that out because it's gonna make you cry. Because yeah, it was really pretty pretty dark. And the number of kills that time, though everyone somehow gets resurrected using the Dragon Balls. But yes, the part where they're killed, that's pretty intense, pretty brutal. Also the part where Kuririn first got killed, that was the most darkest scene ever. Just when Goku was trying to see Kuririn back after the parting, he was killed, and which was the most heartbreaking part. And yes, also after that many things happened, etc, etc, and Piccolo Daimao fight, it was pretty intense, and Goku literally had to well, and many things, it also involved Bulma's town, etc. I mean, yeah, many things were happening, and also he even took down Senlong. He was the first one who actually had the ability to kill Senlong himself. So that makes him a true villain, a far better villain comparatively. And yes, the best villain, if I have to rank it, is definitely gonna be Piccolo Daimao. So this Piccolo is different, and he's even top class compared to Piccolo Daimao. Obviously after that, he laid an egg, which actually became Piccolo himself. He's actually called Mao Jr., or in other words, you can also call him Piccolo. For him though, I feel like, okay, let me just swipe images because of the bonus. Okay, whoever they posted the images, good. Just way icons, thanks a lot. Okay, there are many service scenes that you can probably see of Piccolo. Alright, and then we had another part there, right? So, well, the bell there, even that was the final Tenkaichi Budokai finale, and the final bell was the bell where the Tenkaichi Budokai rule didn't even apply. It was literally the most earth-wrecking battle ever. Also, it was far tougher compared to Piccolo Daimao because Piccolo Mao Jr. was far more intelligent due to the fact that, yeah, he sort of knew how Goku previously killed him, so he actually broke two of his hands, or technically just somehow made them unusable. Not wanting to do the same mistake yet again, which made him even more of a threat. So Goku somehow managed to beat him. Though I just told you about the final scene, so well, and also the part of where he just grows big, etc, etc. there are many parts where the other struggled, and it was also another one of the most epic fights. So if I actually could rank them among strength, Piccolo Daimao or Mao Jr., I think Mao Jr. quite obviously wins here. Also, if we talk about the present condition, he is the one surviving, meaning yes, he represents Piccolo Daimao, and well, you already know then, he is the winner in Dragon Ball, the best villain ever. Also, the others also counts. And by the way, he's a demon, so that's why he also has the ability even now to actually go up against Goku. At least he can still compete against Goku. And he is also the fusion with God. He had a lot development in Dragon Ball Z, making him stand equal to Goku even in Super Saiyajin 2. I guess he can even give some challenge to Goku in Super Saiyajin 2. And not only just that, I guess, yeah, he also was the trainer of Gohan and the closest to Goku. So, and yes, that's what makes him stand out compared to the others. Even standing out, though he's actually a Namekian in the Dragon Ball Z. So, anyways, how do you like my video? If you have any opinions against me or any debatable topic, feel free to list in the comments. I'm definitely gonna check it out. And also, please, if you also agree with in some points, also let me know. I want both comments, and so that I can understand how my video was, or if my opinions were correct or not, because opinions does vary, right? Alright then. So hope to see you all in the next video. And by the way, it was just Dragon Ball, so don't expect Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, I just told it's Dragon Ball, so never mistake for Z. Z is different. Anyways, fine then.